Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from the new redesigned Hepburn's Choice from the Island region. Smoke, vanilla custard, rhubarb, filled from a sherry butt. Distilled at Talisker, 8 years old. Distilled 2011, bottled 2020, 46%. Whiskey base number, I have to look at my page here, 165531, and I paid 75 euros for this bottle. Now the color you can see is a tiny, tiny little bit of a red tint. It's interesting. So I thought it was way too expensive, but a couple of my super fans said, hey, Jason, would you buy it and then do a bottle share? And I was like, okay, good. So you can see here the corporate design, those little white lines. You see them also here in the packaging and so on. I don't know. Do you like the corporate design? It looks like something from 1972. Not really here what I am going for. Doesn't really do much for me. Now it says here, each bottling in our Hepburn Choice range is chosen to showcase the characteristics of a particular distillery or showcase one of Scotland's 6 whiskey producing regions. So you can see here that we have the regions. Maybe you can actually read them. Speyside, Islay, Highland, Lowlands, Islands, and Campbelltown. So our Talisker and Highland Park and so on would definitely be an island whiskey. So I'm going to compare this to something. Another Talisker. You can buy 2 bottles of this in Germany for 1 bottle of that. 45.8%, so almost the same. No age statement. This is a single cask, by the way, and this is a standard product range. I'll just leave the bottle here. I really like this. I'm not sure about this yet. All right, 1 second. 888 bottles out of 1 sherry butt. You take 500 liters, you put it in there, you let it stay in there maybe for the entire 8 years in this case, I'm not sure. And then you dilute it down to 46%. You can get a lot of bottles. Get a lot of bottles for that, for that amount of money. I love this nose. This nose is fantastic. I'm going to say it's Nesquik strawberry powder. It's got caramel. It's got vanilla. It's smooth and silky. It's got a little bit of a honey in there. This is a fabulous, fabulous nose. Alone, just from the nose alone, I would say this is going to be a wonderful, wonderful whiskey. Over here. It's darker. Port is darker than the sherry. Who would have known? There's a sweetness, there's a roundedness, but there's also a little bit more of an alcohol moment here. It seems to be a little bit younger in general. All right. Cheers to your health. Let's see what happens. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, yeah. It comes in a beautiful, beautiful harmonic type of sweetness with some berries. And then there's this tannin wood kick. And then there's an alcohol supported smoke moment. And the smoke, the alcohol, and the tannins, that bitterness of the wood actually have a little bit like they're fencing. They're fighting with swords with each other. And the thing that wins is more the sweetness with the smoke. It's got a nice finish, but until it reaches that finish, it goes nice, very, very nice, and then it goes whoops, and it goes and then it goes back up to okay or good. Wow. I'm going to dilute it ever so slightly. This was 46%. It should be now about 42%. The wood comes through a little bit stronger now. Mm. Mm. Wow, you can actually tame the wood. The smokiness, which is not a Lafroig, not an Ardbeg, not a Lagavulin, it's Talisker. It's just a tiny, noticeable smoky moment is there without overpowering your senses, which I think is fabulous. I really, really, really like that. At 42%, this is fantastic. Fantastic is too much. This is actually very good. This would be a B whiskey. At the moment, it's a C whiskey because of the woodiness and the alcohol and the smoke. Wow. I've I would say about a third, about 30% of the time, by lowering the ABV, especially if it's a 46% whiskey, by lowering the ABV down to another maybe 32, 42, 43%, you actually get a much, much better comprehensive whiskey than you do at that 40%, 46%. You pick the sweet spot and you say, hey, it has to be 46%, non-chilled filter, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But often the whiskey does speak to you. If you listen and you do notice that at a different ABV, it would have been better. But then you get accused of watering it down. Then you get accused of not listening to your patrons or to your followers or to your super fans, and you have to then somehow justify why did you do it. It's just the taste profile. All right, let's go over here. Let's go to the Talisker Port Rook. Like. Mm. 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 This is one of those whiskeys which really, really amazes me. It starts off at a slightly above average, and then it just develops. And this one declines, and this just develops. It's such a beautiful, beautiful whiskey. Would I much rather have 2 bottles of this than 1 bottle of this any day of the week? This is one of the things I have. I got 4 or 5 bottles stashed away anyways from this. And this is one of the bottles I recommend for anyone getting into a little bit of a smokiness. Do I prefer the sherry, or do I prefer the port? Today I prefer the port, definitely. Good, last time, and then we'll just finish up this review. I'm going to have to grade this on the glass that I have, the whiskey in the glass, not the whiskey I created, with its 42%. Beautiful, beautiful nose. I prefer the nose here than I do here. That bitter wood kicks in. A little bit of a smoke is there. And they just don't harmonize. They're just battling it out in my mouth to see who will win, and it's not always great. Question of the day, what is your favorite 8-year-old whiskey? Question of the day, what is your favorite Hepburn's choice? Going to be a lot less people answering that one. And question of the day, what else do you like from Hunter Lang? I know quite a few things from Douglas Lang, but I really don't know many things from Hunter Lang. So they were actually brothers. Were they brothers? It was one family, and then the son and the daughter basically went in different directions. I'm not even sure that's 100%. I just know the sons and the daughters now have the different brands, and I think their each uncle decided that let's divide it up because our children should have 2 different companies instead of 1 big company. Whatever. All right, thank you very much for watching. What do you think about the redesign? I'm not a big fan of it. I would rather have a more... This is retro. I'd rather have a classic design than something trying to be something it's not. Did I tell you that the range is named in honor of our director's late maternal grandfather, William Hepburn, who traveled the globe with his job in the diplomatic service with a fine judgment, honed at many embassy functions, Mr. Hepburn was a connoisseur of his homeland's whiskey. With this in mind, we believe these bottlings would indeed have been Hepburn's choice. All right, thank you very much for watching, liking. Please subscribe. Please tell others about this channel. Please tell others about this whiskey here that you'll probably never ever see. One of 888 bottles, primarily or exclusively in Europe. Thank you very much for also maybe even sharing this video on social media. All the best. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskey. All the best. Bye-bye.